Book title: Why Do You Always Choose the Wrong Person? Break Your Subconscious Code and Find Freedom. Author: Vahid Zekavati. Copyright: VM Production, Radio NLP. Introduction. You are tired of the repetition, of telling yourself at the end of every relationship, it's the same person again, the same destruction again. You know the problem wasn't just them. The problem is a cycle, a damned pattern rooted in the darkest corner of your subconscious. You are searching for the love you lack, but you only gravitate toward those who reawaken old pains. That same 20 to 22% of toxic or high conflict population. We are going to see why you run from calm and are drawn to destructive fire. You deserve emotional freedom. This book is not a superficial guide to happiness, but a surgical knife for excising the root of these devastating choices. We are not here to give you false hope. We're going to make you see the naked truth. I want to force you to see who that wounded child within you truly loves, so we can change your script. Your path to salvation is behind this pain. Come with me, let's free you from these subconscious games. Chapter 1. Why do we fear safe people and get hooked on drama? You lie to yourself that you seek peace, but the truth is, calmness terrifies you. Because calm means no tension, and no tension means no excitement in proving your worth. Your brain has learned that love must be full of struggle and anxiety, just like the home you grew up in. A 20 to 22% toxic pattern. Stable people, that 25 to 30% of low-conflict relationships, seem boring and bland to you. You need to fight and win to feel alive and valuable. They offer you peace, but your subconscious screams, "This is safe, so it's not real love," because love has always been linked to hardship and scarcity for you. You crave chemistry and fire, the kind found in high conflict and especially karmic relationships, 5 to 7%. This intensity gives you the illusion of deep connection, while it's just a severe addiction to doses of adrenaline and cortisol. You've become addicted to drama, not intimacy. The truth is, you run from genuine intimacy. Real intimacy means the masks come off, and you are seen without playing a role. But you don't know how to be seen without a fight or without the victim-hero role. That's why you constantly look for a partner who forces you to play. The person you choose is exactly the mirror of the wounds you haven't yet accepted. You see the dark, rejected, and inferior parts of yourself in them, and you try to save them to ultimately save yourself. This is a failed emotional transaction, not love. You are not a savior. The person who is calm and loves you effortlessly is a threat, because they prove to you that you don't need to suffer to be loved. And this contradicts the entire script etched in your mind since childhood. You can't have a healthy relationship because you aren't healthy yet. You must accept that the wrong choice was your doing again and again. You are responsible, not guilty. The responsibility is to stand up and break this cycle. Stop looking for excuses and external culprits. Everything started within you, and it must end there. To break this pattern, ask yourself, what is my deepest fear about calm? Your answer will likely be being insignificant or being abandoned in silence. These fears are your treasure map to healing. You must attack the very center of these fears. You must learn that your worth is not equal to the intensity of your suffering. If you want your life to be like that peaceful 25%,
You must discard the sick excitement of high conflict and replace it with stable respect and trust. This is growth. So, start seeing the truth. The problem is not a lack of love externally. It's a lack of self-acceptance and love internally. You must make peace with yourself to choose serenity. Get ready, we're moving to the root of this self-destruction.
Chapter 2. Is the root of this damned fear simply loss? The root of all your problems is one simple yet devastating thing. The fear of loss equals my complete annihilation. At some point in childhood, you learned that if you were abandoned, nothing would be left of you. This is not an emotional fear, it's an existential, life or death fear. Because of this fear, you constantly cling to relationships that have long been dead, cold roommate types, 20–25%, or toxic ones that threaten to leave at any moment. This clinging is a desperate attempt for emotional survival, not love. This is called dependency. You think you can prevent abandonment by controlling. This control itself is a sickness. You are constantly checking, guessing, and interfering with their boundaries. But control brings neither love nor security. It only increases the distance and turns you into an anxious creature. Whenever your partner distances themselves slightly, the first thought that strikes your brain like lightning is, "I am not good enough." This internal voice of inferiority ruins all your decisions. Silence this voice. You don't need anyone to prove your worth. You must understand that no one can fill that empty hole within you. You are asking another person to play the role of the perfect parent you never had. When they fail, you get angry. But your anger isn't over their failure, it's over your own past failure. To break this spell, you must face conscious solitude. Loneliness is not a punishment. It is an opportunity for reconstruction and power. Only when you step out of the relationship's shadow can you see who you are and what you want. This solitude will make you stronger than ever. You must promise the frightened child within you, "I will not abandon you again." You are now the mature parent who can provide security from within yourself. When you are your own source of security, you no longer need to cling to every toxic relationship for survival. Pathological dependency is what drags you back to karmic relationships. You think that intense psychological and sexual connection is proof of destiny, while it's just a shared sickness to fill a void. Real love doesn't complete you, it accepts you as complete. The solution is this. Instead of running after someone who wants to leave, stop and look at the pain that gets activated. That pain is your guide to healing. You have the courage to see this pain and befriend it. Now that you understand all your games were just an escape from this fear, you are ready to meet the anger and unleashed power within you. Chapter 3. Did I choose my partner to heal my parents' wounds? You didn't marry your partner, you married your unfinished past project. Your subconscious has once again brought people into your life who remind you of the parents who are either cold or high conflict and unpredictable. This repetition is your desperate attempt to change the ending of the story. If you are stuck in a cold relationship, type 2, you probably learned to be seen you had to make yourself invisible. If you are stuck in constant fighting, types 3 and 4, you learn that love only comes through shouting and struggle. These are all scripts your parents unknowingly handed down to you. You are asking your partner to compensate for your parents' mistakes. This is a heavy burden that no human can bear.
When they fail, you feel frustrated, and your anger is actually the accumulated rage that was never directed at your primary caregiver. This intense need for attention, validation, and praise that you constantly demand from them is in fact the attention you never received enough of in childhood. No matter how much attention they give you, it will never be enough, because this hole must be filled from your own inner source. The shadow of your parents weighs heavily on all your relationships. Your pouting, your unrealistic expectations, and even how you start arguments are all copies of your original family patterns. You must recognize these patterns and shout, "This is not me. This is just a pattern." You must accept this bitter truth. You cannot heal your parents through your life partner. The responsibility for your healing rests solely with you. Emotional maturity means stopping the effort to complete others and focusing on completing yourself. You must firmly tell yourself, "I am no longer that powerless child." Your power lies in the complete acceptance of the past and the firm choice for the future. This acceptance is the foundation of your freedom. Now it's time to stop focusing on the pain and weaknesses and meet your hidden power, accepting that you deserve a peaceful and strong life.
Chapter 4. Should I really show my real self to my partner? You always wear a mask, the mask of the strong person, the independent person, or the always happy person. This mask is a defense against getting hurt. But this mask keeps you away from true intimacy, because the person who loves you with the mask is not you. They are just a fabricated image. Intimacy means voluntary vulnerability. It means allowing them to see your real wounds and fears. But you are afraid that if they see your real, imperfect self, they will leave you. This fear is the root of those 20% cold and soulless relationships where you are just two roommates. You mistakenly think that your flaws make you worthless, but the truth is, your flaws make you unique. A healthy partner, type 1, sees and accepts your flaws, but a toxic partner uses your flaws for control and humiliation. You must learn that showing your true self is not a risk, it's a filter. If they don't accept you for who you truly are, then they are not your partner at all. This filter saves you from wasting your time in toxic relationships, type 5. In karmic relationships, 5 to 7%, intimacy is confused with destruction. You only drop your masks during the peak of arguments and crises, and then you put them back on. This is not intimacy, it's just an intense drama show. Courage means living without a mask. It means accepting that I am not perfect, but I am worthy of love just as I am. When you truly believe this sentence, you no longer need to engage in high-conflict games to gain attention. If your partner does not accept your dark parts, it means they only fell in love with an idea of you, not you. You have the right to be a whole human being, with all your shadows, mistakes, and needs. This is an iron boundary. To be able to show your true self, you must first accept yourself. Reconciliation with the inner dark parts is the first spiritual step toward emotional intimacy. Unless you forgive yourself, you can never expect anyone else to accept you. So take off your mask. It might hurt a little, but the pain that leads you to freedom and authenticity is 1,000 times better than a life of lies and fear. Chapter 5. Is suffering a sign of relationship depth or just an addiction to pain? Your mind falsely told you that deep love must involve pain, because all the stories and scripts of your childhood linked love with separation, struggle, and sacrifice. You hold the belief that the more you suffer, the more karmic and destined your relationship is. You must see this truth.
Suffering in a relationship is a sign of that relationship's sickness, not its depth. If your relationship is full of extreme ups and downs, pouting, insane reconciliation, and instability, type 3 and 4, this is not love. This is a shared addiction to emotional instability. Addiction to pain is what keeps you in karmic relationships, 5 to 7%. The intensity of the psychological and sexual connection and the drama are your meaning of life. But this meaning is a dangerous illusion that keeps you away from real peaceful life. Real love sets you on a path of growth and peace. A stable, low-conflict relationship becomes a launch pad for your goals, not a battlefield where you have to fight every day. You deserve to have a supporter, not a rival. You must face this question: what do I gain from suffering in my relationship? Your answer will probably be, I feel alive and passionate, or I feel involved in an important mission. These are all psychological compensations for filling a deeper void. To exit this addiction, you must learn to get excitement from healthy sources. Go after career goals, new sports, or a new art form. When your inner life is passionate, you no longer need to burn your emotional life for excitement. You are not responsible for all the wounds you received, but you are responsible for all the wounds you allow yourself to receive from now on. This is your iron boundary. Suffering doesn't grant you honor, it just exhausts you and keeps you away from that 25% peaceful life. Now is the time to look for stable trust instead of seeking fiery chemistry. Trust is the only foundation that can pull you out of this cycle of pain.
Chapter 7. Is letting go the strongest act in the world or a big eternal failure? You think letting go means surrendering and losing. This is a big lie planted by the fear of abandonment. But the truth is, the strongest people are those who know what is not worth keeping. Letting go is a conscious and powerful act. Clinging to a dead relationship, type 2, or a toxic one, type 5, is not a sign of love, it's a sign of the fear of loneliness. You fear the label single or separated more than the loneliness itself. This fear forces you to live in a prison whose walls you built yourself. Letting go of a karmic relationship, type 4, that constantly takes you up and down is the hardest thing in the world, because the emotional intensity has captivated you. But you must understand that you deserve a peaceful life, not an emotional circus. This choice is the highest form of self-love. You must understand the difference between giving up and letting go. Giving up is accompanied by inferiority, but letting go comes with assertiveness and awareness. By letting go, you send a powerful message to the world. I choose to protect myself. The solitude after letting go is a sacred space. This time is not for mourning. It is a necessary period of reconstruction. Here you are alone with yourself, and that inner voice that was choked by the drama for years is heard again. You must tear up the belief that I cannot live without them. This is a childish and dependent sentence. The truth is, I can absolutely live without you, but I have chosen to be with you. This sentence is the basis of a mature relationship. Letting go is your gateway to an authentic life. When you create an empty space, the universe can bring the right people into your life. People worthy of entering the life of an assertive individual, type 1. If the previous relationship's place is full, nothing new can enter. You must stop thinking about the relationship's future. Just focus on this moment. Does staying here add to my worth or diminish it? The answer to this question will free you from doubt. So, letting go is not failure. It's a rebirth. You must allow yourself to be born again. This act is your gateway to an authentic, chosen life, worthy of a mature and conscious person. Chapter 8. When everything crumbles, how can I rebuild myself? You are in a necessary collapse. This destruction you feel is not the end, it is the beginning. You cannot build a new house unless you clear the debris of the old one. All the pain you are suffering is the rubble of false beliefs and rotten patterns of the past. Let them fall. Collapse means the masks are off and you are forced to see your truth. In this moment, you can no longer lie. You can no longer pretend your relationship is healthy, like cold or toxic types. This moment is the hardest and at the same time the most sacred moment. You must stop denial. Denying the truth that you are stuck in a toxic or high-conflict relationship is what keeps you weak. The only way out of the pit is the unconditional acceptance of your current situation. Say, I am here, I am hurting, but I am alive, and I choose to rebuild. For rebuilding, you must take responsibility for your solitude. Loneliness is not your enemy. It is your workshop. In this workshop, you start collecting the pieces that were lost since childhood. This means, what did you give up to please others? Now it's time to take them back. You must learn to challenge your beliefs. Which belief about love made you attracted to that 20% of toxic or collapsing relationships? Do you think love means sacrifice and suffering? If you tear up this belief, your subconscious will be forced to choose a new path. Rebuilding is a courageous process. Courage means, I am afraid, but I take the step. This means you will fail, you will fall, but you will get up again. Your power lies in your resilience, not your ability to prevent pain. Make this your mantra. You need a personal spirituality, not religion, but a deep connection to your inner essence. You must understand that a force greater than this pain exists within you. This connection frees you from dependency on people and draws your power from a stable source. Convert your anger into energy for creation and creativity. Instead of destroying others' lives, build your own. This anger is your jet fuel for starting a new job, a new sport, or a better relationship with yourself. This is the alchemical transformation waiting inside you. Now that you've hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go: up. This lowest point is the strongest step for launching you towards an authentic and powerful life. You haven't failed. You've become ready for transformation.
Chapter 9. How can I make my boundaries ironclad and never get hurt again? You are not vulnerable. You abandoned your boundaries. A relationship is like a country that must have clear, impenetrable borders. Every time you allowed yourself to cross your red lines to keep a relationship, you signaled to the world, I don't accept my own worth. A boundary is your declaration of worth. When you say no, you are actually saying out loud, this is my share of life and I won't allow you to destroy it. This assertiveness not only keeps you away from toxic and collapsing relationships, but also attracts stable ones, type 1, into your life. You must define your boundaries on 3 levels: emotional, physical, and intellectual. Emotional boundary means I won't let my feelings be controlled or belittled by others. Physical boundary means my personal space must be respected. An intellectual boundary means my right to my own beliefs is preserved. The problem is that in high conflict and karmic relationships, type 3 and 4, boundaries are deliberately broken to increase dependency. They cross your red line to see how much you're willing to endure for love, and you endure because you fear losing that emotional intensity. To build ironclad boundaries, you must fight feelings of guilt and fear. When you set a boundary, the other person gets angry or makes you feel guilty. In that moment, you must be firm with yourself and say, your guilt is not my problem. Self-respect is my priority. Boundaries must be behavioral, not just verbal. Saying, don't do that is not enough. You must show what the consequence is if the red line is crossed. This means, if you insult me again, I will end the conversation. This assertiveness is the language the subconscious understands. Boundaries don't isolate you, they free you. When your boundaries are firm, you no longer have to sell your soul to maintain the relationship. In this freedom, you start attracting people who have the maturity to respect boundaries. You must understand that real love is respect for boundaries. If someone truly loves you, they will never challenge your boundaries. This is a simple truth that you had buried under the debris of high conflict emotions.
So choose your assertiveness. Assertiveness is the opposite of aggression and surrender. This is the inner force that not only saves you, but turns you into a mature, unbreakable person who attracts a stable 25% relationship. Chapter 10. How can I choose calmness without getting bored? You think calmness equals death because all your life you learned that life must be full of challenge, excitement, and drama to seem alive. But this is a mental lie. Calmness is not the absence of excitement. Calmness is conscious presence in the moment without needing external tension to feel alive. Choosing calmness is choosing psychological maturity and distancing yourself from toxic and high-conflict relationships. This means you no longer need high-conflict or karmic relationships, type 3 and 4, to prove your worthiness of love. You can now be part of that 25 to 30% of stable relationships. You must seek calmness in stable, low-conflict relationships. In these relationships, love is a deep, constant flow, not a sudden firework. This love is not boring, it is secure. And for the first time, you can spend your energy on your own growth, not on fighting your partner. To choose calmness, you must quit your addiction to pain. Whenever the old tension rises in you and tries to drag you into a fight or challenge, stop and make a conscious choice. Say, I feel this tension, but I don't need to act on it. This power is the root of your freedom. You must learn to find the meaning of life within yourself, not in the intensity of your relationship. When you are the source of excitement, growth, and discovery, you no longer need a high-conflict partner to pull you out of stagnation. This is emotional self-sufficiency. Start to appreciate silence and monotony in your relationship. Monotony in a healthy relationship is an opportunity for deeper intimacy, not a reason to flee. This silence can be full of trust and shared understanding, something never found in high-conflict relationships. You must accept this truth. True love is not a battle, it is a sanctuary. You deserve a sanctuary where you can take off your masks, accept your weaknesses, and be yourself without fear of judgment or abandonment. If you choose calmness, many toxic people will automatically exit your life. They are incompatible with your peace because they need your drama for their survival. This is the natural filter that guides you toward that 25% of healthy people. So make your decision. Do you still want to be a victim of subconscious games, or do you want to accept calmness as the strongest choice in your life? This is your moment of absolute freedom, freedom to live a life without drama.
Chapter 11. How can I end my relationship games forever with an assertiveness anchor? Your whole problem is that you lose your assertiveness at the crucial moment. When tension rises or your partner crosses your boundary, your subconscious drags you to the old pattern: silence, surrender, or shouting. To be free, you need an instant stop button that connects you immediately to an assertive, mature self. Here, I want to teach you a simple yet incredibly powerful NLP technique, the assertiveness anchor. The anchor is a subconscious key that can instantly change your emotional state. You must lock the feeling of inner strength into a spot on your body during a moment of calm. Step 1. Create the assertive state. Think of a moment in your life when you deeply felt power, self-respect, and absolute calm. A moment when you were non-needy and could say no without fear. Pull that complete, ironclad feeling up to the depths of your being. Step 2. Install the anchor. Right at the peak of this feeling of assertiveness and maturity, press a specific spot on your body. For example, squeeze 2 fingers of your right hand together tightly or press your wrist. This physical pressure is the key to the psychological state. Repeat this action 5 times in a row. Step 3. Test and confirm. Now release the anchor and forget the assertive state. Then squeeze the fingers again. If the feeling of power returns instantly, the anchor is installed. If not, repeat the steps until this neural connection is strong. Step 4. Use in the battlefield. Now, in your relationship, whenever you feel you are being pulled toward the toxic or high conflict pattern, type 3 and 4, or you are about to stay silent against an insult, type 2, activate the anchor. Without delay, squeeze the fingers. The assertiveness anchor separates you from the childish reaction and connects you to the mature response. In that moment, you have a vital second to calmly and firmly state your boundary, instead of shouting, "I do not accept this behavior, and this conversation needs to stop." The power of this technique lies in repetition and consistency. Practice the assertive state every day and activate your anchor. This is an invisible shield for your ironclad boundaries. You are no longer a plaything for momentary emotions. You no longer have to cave in to fear. This tool returns power to you. You can activate your emotional freedom at the moment of choice. This game is over. You are the winner. With this tool in your hand, you are now ready to put all the learnings of this book into practice and start the new script of your life. Go, for power awaits you. Conclusion. You started this book with a question: why do I always choose the wrong person? Now you know that there was no wrong person. Rather, your wounded subconscious was seeking to repeat the familiar scripts of childhood. You not only saw the power games and emotional patterns, but you understood that your real power lies in releasing fear and building ironclad boundaries. There is a sacred temple inside you. Until you clear this temple of the debris of the past and the illusions of love, you can never experience peace. This book was your surgical knife for cutting out old wounds. Now is the time to find love within yourself instead of searching for it outside. Life is not a constant battle. It is a conscious journey. Choose not to be a victim of toxic and high conflict types. That's 60% of society living in pain. Choose to be worthy of that 25% of people whose lives are built on respect, security, and slow love. You are free to make a new choice every moment. This is not the end of the book. This is the beginning of your true life.